is a parrot as a quiver. Welcome, guys. We are live. Welcome to all the viewers that are tuning in today to the Ask Willie and Eugene Business Show.
Hello, everybody. Mike, welcome back. It's sunny, but apparently it's cold in Cape Town. But thanks for the cold. You've sent it over here,
Thanks. So if you're joining for the first time, just let us know as well. Super cool interview that we have planned for today. And hopefully we can get a lot of value out of it. I know myself and Willie is going to get quite a bit of value out of it. It's something that we are interested in as well. And just amazing if you reach out to people, how willing people are, especially Ingrid from today, how willing they are to share their knowledge and their information with everyone else, just purely from a perspective of helping someone.
Exactly. I think when you get to that point of actually starting to share, Eugene, I think you can resonate, or you can agree with me, is we are actually on this journey where people just come, so they just pitch up and arrive, and everyone just wants to share and help, and super excited. I think that's really the purpose why we started this show, is just to give as much value as possible to everyone that comes and listen to us, and then hopefully we can make an impact on someone's lives. We're going through a tough time in South Africa currently, economically. So super excited, and
just hi to everyone. I see we've got a few guys on that's not part of our mastermind yet as well. So
hi guys, welcome.
It's the first time you're watching our show. Welcome to the business show. And everyone else, Mark, Elizabeth, all the other guys from the mastermind, welcome. And hopefully jam-packed show again as usual. And we'll share some of the information afterwards on, hey George, welcome. Share all the information on our WhatsApp group afterwards as well for all the guys that's part of the show. And welcome, Barbara. So, Willie, before we get started, I just want to say that anyone that's not part of the mastermind, I'll tell you a bit about that in a few seconds. If you do want to join a different group of people, the reason we started that is you are the average of the 5 people you spend your time with. The problem is, where do you find better people to spend your time with? Positive, uplifting. It's going to support you, not have negative comments every time you do something. That's going to help you to progress on this journey of entrepreneurship. And it's a lonely journey. I think back from when I started, it's really lonely. There's no one to talk to. Just having the group, I see Yvonne, Joanne, everyone from the mastermind is joining in, and they can testify for it. Just how nice it is to have a different type of person to hang out with, and where we share information and we just help each other in encouraging words, positive words, and keeping each other accountable. So a really awesome group to join. If you do want to join us, I'll give you a bit of information in a sec. But before we get started, so we're going to start the interview with Ingrid in about 10 minutes. And just before that, give us an introduction for all the new viewers that don't know who Entrepreneur HQ is and what we are all about.
Cool, thanks, Eugene. So first of all, for all the new guys on the show, thank you very much for coming here and coming to listen to us, and I hope you can get a lot of value from this. So we are just two passionate entrepreneurs, just two normal guys that's got businesses, but we're really passionate about digital entrepreneurship, and that's kind of how we also started our journey. We worked together on a project where we did some integration and automation for clients, and we started to get talking about entrepreneurship, and especially digital entrepreneurship, e-commerce, digital marketing, and stuff like that. So we kind of had that passion, both of us, and that's how EHQ actually started off. We do digital marketing and we build systems for entrepreneurs. But one of the problems that we encountered was we charge quite a lot for these systems and to do this digital marketing. But the reality is the people or the business owners that need it the most are actually the guys that cannot afford this. So that's how we kind of started the mastermind. Both myself and Eugene are business coaches. So we also do coaching for clients. Once again, it can become quite expensive. So we started off by building online courses, which was something very affordable that we could take to the masses and give back to the guys that can't really afford those expensive services. so yeah, that's kind of who we are, and yeah,
Even
and
it wasn't an easy journey. We actually thought, oh, no, 2 months we'll build all our courses and we'll start Mastermind. And a year later, we're still busy building courses. And yes, now we need to add this and we need to add this and we need to add this platform. Yes.
yeah, and I think it's a continuous journey. You did a video yesterday where you were talking about consistency, and you know, when we started off, it was really like, oh, let's quickly build something, quickly sell it online, and that's honestly not the case. And we're going to be speaking to Ingrid today, and these guys have amassed a massive following. And that is something which she's gonna share with us, and it is something that actually does not come overnight, and that's why I'm so curious to speak to her about. So yeah, I'm super excited about today's giant.
So before we get to Ingrid, I'll let her know shortly that she can jump on. Is it okay if I quickly take 2 minutes to just share our mastermind with the guys that's not on here? Just type yes in the comments if it's okay. I know a lot of the guys on here are already part of our mastermind group. So what our mastermind group works is, like I said, it's a group of people that's really passionate about building their businesses, especially from an e-commerce perspective, and they've taken action to just lift themselves and their business up a little bit more. The main topics that we talk about is the mindset of the entrepreneur, which is critical. If your mindset, your business is a reflection of you. So if your mindset isn't right, then your business is going to reflect that as well. So secondly is e-commerce. We've got a couple of e-commerce stores. We've got, like Willie said, we've got Time IT, which is my IT business. Willie's got an accounting business, which is Value Smart. We've got a drone store, etc., etc. So we've got a couple of different types of businesses. All of that is being migrated to a e-commerce platform and e-commerce spaces and stuff. And because of the struggle we had with that, we realized how many, and we are tech people, so how many other people are going to struggle with it. So we built a bunch of courses that shows you how to market your business on Facebook, how to integrate all your systems, your automation, how to launch your e-commerce store, how to build a Shopify store, WordPress, WooCommerce, all those sort of things. So it's a once-off fee of $750 to join our mastermind group, and then on top of that, so it's once off, then you get lifetime access, and then on top of that we'll also include all our courses that's part of it. So for the guys that's not on yet, that's not part of our mastermind group, on the right hand side by the comments, you'll see there is a offer to join our mastermind group. If you click on that, it's a debit card or credit card. Just pop in your details, once off $750, and you're part of our group. You'll get an email to join our WhatsApp groups and our private messaging groups and all that sort of stuff. So if you're not part of that, join it. Otherwise, let's get on with the show. So Ingrid, eBiz Radio. Just a really cool person. We have partnered with eBiz Radio. So we are their 24/7 business radio station. We have partnered with eBiz Radio. They're going to use some of our content. We're going to use some of their content. And it's all about collaboration. So think about it for your own business. Make a note of it to go and think after this. Instead of finding this 111 customer, where can you tap into existing market, someone that's already in flow, someone that's already doing really good in business? Where can you find connections like that in your immediate network and tap in and collaborate with them? And what value are you going to offer them? Cool. So Ingrid, like I said, is from eBiz Radio. Will you just give a quick background, and then I'll let Ingrid know that she can jump on.
Cool. So guys, Ingrid's from eBiz Radio. Like Eugene mentioned, they are a 24/7 online radio all the way from Cape Town. So quite interesting. And they've really amassed a massive amount of followers. And I think the lesson that we're going to learn today is that in order to succeed online, you actually need to take action. And I think, let's get Ingrid on the line and then take it from there. And what I want you guys to do is we can obviously learn from Ingrid. So think about some questions. We're going to actually give her some time to speak about, or allow her to answer some of your questions. And I think that's the power of the show is we can actually learn from these giants, and they make their time available for us to come and speak to us and then teach us, and then hopefully you can take your business further. Yay!
Hey.
Hello, Ingrid. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I see I've got a stream of sunlight on me and my dog's barking in the background. So
we love dogs on this show.
We roll with the punches.
Yeah.
Please don't punch me today.
Awesome. Welcome to the show, and thank you for sharing your time and making your time available to the show and to all the viewers out here. So I know everyone's going to learn a massive amount from you, and I just want to say thank you from myself and Willie, and thank you from all our viewers for making your time available.
Man, it's an absolute pleasure. The thing that I love and enjoy most in the world is just sharing. I learned very early in life that if you go through life with your hands open, not only can you give, but you can receive openly. So I'm happy to join you today. Apologies for the microphone, but you've caught me at my home studio, so this is life.
Listen, let's not talk about studios and home studios and things like that. We're using phones and these cheapies for now still. So
you know what? The most important thing is, does it get the job done?
Exactly. So I think that's a very important point. One of the things that we speak about quite a lot is just take action. It doesn't really matter how it looks, and it's just take action. I think that's one of the most critical things that the business owner can do. We procrastinate all the time, and it's super.
It's hectic. You know what? Procrastination is the biggest thief of time. So you can sit around and go, I really want to open this business. Well, sweetheart, you got to get up off the couch and actually start doing.
It's a big problem.
The difference between a business that's successful or the business that's got a chance of success and one that doesn't. It's the one with a chance of success started. The other one's still facing the head.
They got off their bum and actually went out there and tried to do something,
Yeah,
cool.
You know what? I mean, my business journey is like, it started by accident. So I went to a boarding school, a convent in Cape Town, and I was one of those kids who always asked a million questions, and the poor nuns struggled and didn't quite know what to do with me. So I spent a lot of time in the principal's office.
You're one of those.
So when the intercom went, I used to just get up and go because I knew it was me, even if it wasn't me. And I was spending so much time in her office, and the phone would be ringing and people kept coming in. And at the end of the day, the head of a school is running a business. Let's get that fact out there. A school is a business. Yes, we're educating, but it's run as a business. So I started answering the telephone. Then I started making appointments for parents to come in, and then the tuck shop wasn't doing so well. So I started running the tuck shop and started figuring out that if I buy in bulk, I can get better prices. If I get better prices, I can sell at a different price. So I learned a lot of my skills at school. So, and I think it's just about being brave enough to go, hell, let me just do this. What have you got to lose?
Yeah,
super cool story.
I don't think the nuns have ever recovered.
I think all of us have actually started businesses whilst being at school. I think, Eugene, what did you sell? Perfume.
Yes, I had quite a few. I sold hubcaps and hired a gardening service, and then I went into the perfume business. And I still make a couple of bucks.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, go for it, Billy.
Yeah, so thanks for sharing that story with us. We speak to a lot of giants and entrepreneurs, and we feel every single one of them has this actual urge sometime in their lives to start a business. You've just shared that story, which we love. But who's Ingrid? Tell us a bit more about Ingrid.
Okay, it's quite a simple story. I mean, we've all heard of white privilege, and I'm using this specifically because first thing we have to do is actually acknowledge that we had it. So I came from a family where we worked incredibly hard. My father worked day and night to be able to put himself through school, to study, to be able to go into the medical field. And we always had a sense of giving back. No matter what you had, you always had to share with everybody else. And we had a lot more opportunities than most people in this country. But I think a lot of those opportunities I created for myself. I don't understand the word no. And I suppose being dyslexic helps because I kept seeing on, which for me was, okay, well, we're on. I didn't actually hear on. It's on. And I can't, I'm cheeky, and if I want to know something, I will knock on doors until someone answers and can help me with an answer. And so I started when I was at school with a business and also had many, many businesses. I then studied to be a journalist and did my internship at the August newspaper in the early 80s. Now, the early 80s in this country, everything was censored. So it didn't matter how brilliant a journalist you were, the guy from the censor board used to scratch everything out and go, well, we can't say that. And I just thought, well, what's the point of being in news if you actually can't share the real story? And I then went on my own and I started working with a group of rebel rousers. Today they've some of them have been amazing politicians and some of them have just been bloody crooks, but that's a different story. And so I started writing and doing communications for what was then effectively a brand. I had to look at a political movement or an individual as a brand. And, well, what was this brand? What did it stand for? So I started a communications and marketing agency 30 years ago. I still run that very successfully. Over the years, I learned to specialize in not only business strategy, because you can't have a communication strategy in isolation. So I would sit often with the marketing person or the financial director or the CEO, and preferably all of them, and go, I can help share your brand story, but you have to tell me, what is the business story? Where are we going? What are your goals? And in many cases, they'd look at me and go, yeah, but you're the PR person. And I'm going, I might be a PR person, but I'm not going to go out there and lie for you. No. Tell me about your business. So, and through that, my own skills and development in strategy started. So I learned very early on to be able to walk into a business, and by just sitting and being in the business, I could pick up where the faults, not faults, but where the gaps were. And in many cases,
and opportunities.
Absolutely. And I lost many clients in the beginning because they felt that I was a little bit too direct. And I'm going, I'm never going to lie for you. So if you don't want me, that's fine. And they'd go, well, could you recommend somebody else? And I'd go, no, go and find your own person. And so being in the communication space in the early 2000s, I saw the way that communication was changing in the world. I'm just going to lean over, and these things came around. Okay. And people were spending more and more time on their cell phones. And we had, in the early days, do you remember BlackBerry had BB Chat?
Yeah.
And people used to chat to other people, and they would chat as if they were the brand. And I started looking at this going, hold on a minute, you're pushing all these messages to the brand, but there's no engagement. Surely there's a better way to do this. And I went over to the States, I think it was the beginning of 2008, and I went to a big technology show, and I saw this thing called podcasts. And here in South Africa, we'd never heard about it. We were still getting onto BB Chat. And I looked at this, and then I saw what was then known as online streaming. And I came back to South Africa and thought, I want to do this. I want to change the way I and my clients communicate. I want it to be engaging and to be not only connective, but I wanted them to be able to connect directly back to me. And I looked at some of the service offerings for broadcasting online in the States. And at that stage, it was like $500,000 US. I don't know about you guys, but I don't carry around $500,000 in my laptop bag.
Not yet.
Oh, wait,
not yet.
Not yet. We didn't have laptops then, you know. If I think about it now, I didn't even have a laptop. And I met a young guy here in South Africa who was still at school, and he used to fix computers at a computer shop up the road from me. And I was chatting to him about this new technology, and he said, "Oh, Auntie, that's so cool." He said, "I'm going to figure it out." And I said to him, "I tell you what, if you figure it out, I'll pay for it." And he came back a couple of weeks later, this little amazing little nerd who was in standard 8, who figured it out. And the technology, this little implant was going to cost 235 Rand.
Oh, really? Oh, really?
So we did this little, open my computer, and we put it in my computer, and I wanted to do online radio, and I literally started at my dining room table, and I connected the microphone and the soundboard and pushed play and just started talking to people. The fact that nobody was listening other than my dogs didn't actually matter. And I've been incredibly fortunate in my journalism career to meet amazing people. And I just approached them and I said, "Listen, this is the platform I want to start. It's going to be called eBiz Radio. We've all gone into business or are in a business, and we want skills and tools to be able to help us grow that business and understand things better. You're an expert, for example, in technology, and John, you're an expert in cars and vehicle finance, and you're a lawyer." So I surrounded myself with these amazing business people, and I said, "Just come on air with me. I have no idea how this plane's going to fly, but we've got petrol, and we got seats, and we got seat belts. Let's do this." And the first person that came on board was Arthur Goldstuck, who today is known as Mr. Technology.
Okay.
Arthur is a journalist, and he had just opened his company called Worldwide Works. And what he does is he does online research and gives that information to companies about what is happening in the online space. Apologies for the dog. But Arthur's passion is technology and gadgets. And he said, "Well, how are we going to do this?" I said, "Arthur, I'll connect with you." And we did it via Skype, because Skype is amazing. There are all these free tools out there.
Yep,
Connected with
them.
Arthur. Absolutely. And Arthur started telling us about the latest telephone, the latest cell phone that came out, why it was great, all the functions. And people started listening. And the platform literally, it just grew and grew and grew. And I realized that there was this incredible hunger for information and insight and sharing. And we as entrepreneurs, we've traveled this journey, and we continue to travel the journey, and we make mistakes, but we learn about it. So Willie, for example, you're in the financial space, and you in the accounting space, and most entrepreneurs hate that space.
Yep.
Okay. And we don't know how to manage cash flow. We don't. Okay, so I just used to go along, and you buy this and you buy that, and you invoice here, or you forget to invoice, and you get to the end of the month and you go, "But I don't understand, where'd the money go?" So I found someone like you and said, "Explain to us, how does cash flow work?" You know, there's a lot of financial illiteracy in this country.
Massive.
And the power of eBiz Radio is just amazing people like yourselves sharing what you know and what you've experienced with other people, so that we can help each other along, so we don't all have to make the same mistakes.
Yep.
You have to make mistakes, but you don't have to make that many.
Exactly.
So that was the story of eBiz Radio. It kind of grew organically from November 2009.
Sure.
So that's something very interesting as well that you mentioned now, is having all this knowledge. And as entrepreneurs, when we start the business, we think we can do everything better than someone else, and we try and do everything ourselves. So advice that I can give from that perspective as well is to outsource the stuff that you're not good at. Focus on the stuff that you're really good at. So, for example, I pay Willie a couple again, even though we're business partners. He's still got his own business. I still have my own business. And I pay him every month to look after my finances. It's not my strongest point in business. My stronger point is the strategic side and the business development and those sort of things.
Absolutely.
So I'm not good at.
I'm terrible at admin. I'm terrible at finance. Technology is not that great, but at the same time, don't underestimate your own abilities.
Yep.
You can literally figure out things, and believe me, I have figured out things. So I also learned.
And then he knows how to build a website, so that shows anyone.
but I took action and I was willing to fail, so I think that's quite important.
It's very important. We were chatting a little bit beforehand, and you said, who were people that influenced me, or someone that I chatted to who had a profound effect on how I do things. And the list really is, I've been so blessed to work with the most unbelievable people globally. But if I had to pick one, it would be Warren Buffett. I had the
Warren Buffett,
really?
Unbelievable. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that was my thought as well.
So
I was very.
So
very
I have to ask. Can we call him and get him on the show one of these days?
You know what's going to be funny? Warren Buffett has zero understanding and uses no technology.
Yeah, I've read that.
He's very old school. He has an old Swiss wind-up watch, a little notebook, and a pen. And when you get in front of him, you are the only person in the world. That's it. I met him at his office. We walked around the corner to the same restaurant that he goes to and has gone to for the last 40 years. He knows everybody by name. And he just was so open. He wasn't interrupted by technology. He really it didn't make any difference. And I did ask him very cheekily if I built this plane, would he come and fly with me? And I'll never forget this piece of advice. He said to me, if you build the relationship, everything else will come.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting.
I'm
waiting for him. He hasn't arrived yet, but I'm waiting.
Yes, I'm super jealous.
Super jealous.
He's got a book, The Snowball. Really thick book. I've probably read it listened to it on Audible about 7 times. It's one of my top 3 business books ever. Absolutely amazing book. It's an autobiography of Warren. The amount of lessons and the valuable insights from listening to the story of someone like Warren Buffett is absolutely amazing.
It's amazing.
But the one thing that I do want to chat about is every conversation that we've ever had on eBiz Radio, we have recorded and we have podcast them. I probably have the biggest business archive on this continent. It's there. It's for free. Go and listen to people's stories and their journeys.
Yep.
Pick a topic, any topic you can possibly imagine. If you now want to buy a new vehicle for your business, go and listen to the motoring section. The Gandra Naidu is the most amazing petrol head on the planet. It doesn't matter what you give him to drive, everything he loves. But he will look at it from, well, what do you
even a Ford?
Even a Ford.
I'm just asking.
A Chevy Spark. He did say that it was officially the most beautiful sewing machine. Yeah. But there's all this stuff there. Go down and listen to people's stories. The more you talk to people, the more you open yourself up to networking with other people and sharing your story. The more likely you are to connect with people that resonate with your energy.
So connections is vital. I totally agree. The connections that we've built up in our other businesses and being in business for so long and being able to network has been a critical skill of the business. I wanted to ask, you've got over 1 million visitors to your site at the moment, eh?
Okay, so I want to just explain online radio. So it's not like traditional radio. Online is very measurable. So when someone connects to our stream, what we see in the back end is you can see the unique IP address connecting. Anything under 30 seconds, we don't count because of connections and things, but anything over 30 seconds, we see as a unique connection. So this time of lockdown has just seen online radio explode. About a week ago, we hit just over 1 million unique IP addresses
Wow.
who
Yes.
remain connected for a period of about 42 minutes, which tells you two things. One, there's a market out there where people want to know more about business and information and insight. And two, you're doing something right that people keep coming back, and you can track over a weekly basis how many of those are returning IP addresses. So I don't call them followers, and I don't call them listeners. I just call them part of my tribe.
Yeah.
That's what we are saying. Is our tribe.
Welcome to the
We're a
tribe.
The show today as well. So the next question I want to ask you guys, get your pen and papers ready, because this is something that you should know and that you're going to get a lot of value out of, is how did you build up such a big following for online radio? There's so many podcasts out there. There's so many different radio stations, and you're in a niche side, which is business. How on earth do you get your 1 million unique connections to your site? It's insane.
I'll tell you how we did it right from the start. I wanted eBiz Radio to be a platform that anybody could access at any time. One of the things in this country that is still very prohibitive from a price point is data.
Yes.
So firstly, I had to figure out how to compress the audio, which took a bit of time. So if, for example, we do a 20-minute interview and I share it and I podcast it, it's less than 20 meg. So if you're in a Wi-Fi area, you can download it. I'm very aware of data costs, but I still want people to get information and insight, and all I ask is that you share it. So that was the first hurdle. The second thing was that it would always be a platform that would be free.
Okay.
And they're different. Yes, there's free. I want you to download it and I want you to share the podcast. But at the same time, I'm a business. And how do you monetize something that is so new? So brands would approach us and go, well, can we advertise? And I'd go, sure, what do you want to advertise? And they'd go, no, well, we've got these 30-second ads. And I'm going, 30-second ads, traditional ads do not work for online. It's a different audience. They're choosing to engage with you. And they don't want to hear that you've got, I don't know, this pen in blue and red at only 99 cents. Hurry there now. I want you to share the journey of this pen. Tell me about your business. Tell me how I'm going to use this pen, how I'm going to benefit from my pen, from this pen. And so it took a bit of time to get brands and certainly ad agencies to understand that you need to have engaging conversations. Tell us, don't sell us. So
Yes.
we've always been authentic. We're not the traditional, well, now I've got to go to an ad break. It doesn't run that way. We will
We've got ads. We need to go for an ad.
so it was always, number one is remain true to the focus of your business. What is the focus of this business? To share information and insight about the world of business and the business of the world. Two, to always be authentic. So we conduct things like I'm doing with you now, like a virtual cup of coffee, and we just have a conversation. People will gain insight from just two people conversing and pull out the key things that are important to them. So authenticity, remain focused. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
No one wants to listen to bullshit. Our bullshit barometers have exploded. We've had so much in the last few months. So just be authentic, be true to yourself. You know, if we, for example, Eugene, I know that you run an IT company. I know zip about IT. And if I ask you a question, I want you to tell me why I need your service. You've understood and heard my problem. So don't try and sell me something. Tell me, Ingrid, I can offer you this. And if I do this, this is how it's going to benefit your business. So be real. If you don't know the answer to something, go, yes, man, I don't know the answer to that. But
No, sorry.
I'll find out. And if I can't, I'll try and connect you with someone. You've then made that person a promise. Next important thing, get back to them.
Yep.
Saying, I promised I'd come back to you. I've come back to you. I can't help you, but Willie or Eugene can help you. So it's being open to working collaboratively because we don't all know all the answers. Yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, that was a lot in that. I just want to bring out one or two things that stood out for me. One is tell the story about the thing. Is don't sell the function of your product. Sell the benefit to your consumer or to your potential customer. Don't sell what we spoke about it on the last show as well.
So don't sell features, sell the benefit.
Correct.
Something because people's got problems. So how do you solve the problem for them?
That's the second point that stood out for me as well. Is you explain to keep your customer in mind. We're so self-centered and we try and talk about ourselves and how amazing we are. We forget to keep our customer in mind and what the customer's real needs are. You are running a business because you're solving a problem. What problem are you solving, and are you keeping your customer in mind when you're solving that problem? And then lastly, what stood out for me as well is the authenticity of being authentic. Because my advice will work for me. I've got a different culture, I've got a different belief, I've got a different background, I've got a different risk factor, all that sort of stuff. So how can I give someone exact advice and tell them this and this and this is how you need to run your business? So how do you relate that story? And it's the same as Warren Buffett's book. I got so many insights from his book, yet he never gave advice. He just told his story. And that's what we're trying to do as well, is learning through other people's stories. So that's a few things that really stood out for me. Thanks for sharing that.
No, thank you very much for sharing.
Absolute pleasure. Yep.
I want to be selfish. I want to ask a question for myself and Eugene. So we've really just started this journey of actually, I don't know how we actually decided to start a business show. I think we kind of just watched up each other one day and said, shouldn't we just start a business show? I think I watched the Gary Vaynerchuk show or something, and I said, not think we should start a business show? And I think that's so what would your advice be to the two of us? We really just started, so, and we really want to take this thing hopefully to something like what you guys have created, is to 1 million unique IP hits on a monthly basis.
The first question I want to ask you is that your goal? Do you want to grow your own basis, or do you want to work collaboratively with other people and grow together?
We want to grow together, I think, because we had a business meeting yesterday and earlier this week, and we said we have to, in order for us to make the biggest impact that we want to make, is we need to collaborate. So
okay, so let me explain to you know how I met you, but the people watching and listening to this don't know how I met you. I was sitting in my car waiting for my daughter to come out of school. It's about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago. And on my Facebook feed was this blonde guy called Eugene. And he was telling me about the Willie, Eugene and Business Show, and he was going, click on the link below. And I looked at this and I just thought, it connected with me. It was authentic. It wasn't overly produced and edited. It was just real. And that's what I connected with. And I went along and I found some details, and I picked up the phone and I phoned Eugene and I said, this is who I am. And I think he was a little bit taken aback, but here we are. a week and a half later, not only have I shared your previous show on my platform, and I'm sitting in the background and I'm watching within a couple of hours of sharing your previous interview. I think we're probably on about 268 people, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually huge. Downloaded that podcast and listened to it, which means that between the three of us, we have directly touched a business person or an entrepreneur, or even someone who's still studying. We've touched their lives. And this is what it's all about. And the three of us will continue to stay. Just do. You know what? You'll learn along the way how to do things. I mean, if I can just take another moment of, and it's slightly digressing, but it just speaks to how we have to do things. So my daughter is learning the same syllabus in last year she was grade 7. In grade 7 that I learned at school, and I left school a while ago. And nothing has changed. We're still trying to teach the kids the same way. And I started playing with my daughter in the studio, and I said to her, okay, I tell you what, I'm the expert in the slave trade, and you are going to interview me. And I realized when she was conversing with me, her recall around what she had learned and using it to relate to what's happening in the world today was quite amazing. I went to her school and I said, I want to change the way we teach kids. And the principal looked at me with very big eyes. And I introduced a pilot program of school radio at the school. And I started with kids from the age of 8 to 14. And I sat in class with them. And they have to learn stuff parrot fashion, and they're bored and they get into trouble because they're fidgeting. And then you write a test and they get 50%. So you're not so smart because you only got 50%. And that's the wrong way to do it. So I got the kids to play with their cell phones last 10 minutes of every lesson, and I got them into twos, and they started speaking to each other and recording on their phones. The recall 3 days later about those conversations was almost 100%. Versus Jan van Riebeeck landed here in whatever year, I can't even remember, because it's not relevant to today.
Yes.
And after 3 weeks of training, and I want people to go and listen to, it's called cannonscreekradio.co.za. I want you to listen to 8, 9, 10, and 12-year-olds hosting their own shows on technology, on business, inviting guests in, asking those difficult questions, asking how it relates to their world. These kids are amazing, so that's the next online project that I've started, and it's amazing. The world has changed. Let's just share what we have.
Kids really are amazing. I've got a son that's 12 years old, and I was explaining to him, he's opened up this entrepreneur shop where he sells Milo balls at school, and I was explaining to him the basis of an income statement and how his expenses will rise when he employs someone and all those sort of things. And I thought, this is over his head. I'll explain the basics. And 2 days later, some of his friends were there, and he was standing exactly explaining how income statement works, how the scalability of his business will work. I was blown away that a 12-year-old, and then we coach guys that's been in business for 10 years and they still don't understand the income statement. And here, a 12-year-old understanding an income statement. It was absolutely amazing.
Yes.
I've got one more question for you, and that is, how do our members advertise? Because you said you've got a special as well for our Mastermind group members, so everyone that's part of our internal tribe. So, and then for everyone else, how do they get in contact with you to be able to take up your package? I think it's for $1,500, so it's really cheap. And then it goes up. Just tell us a bit about.
Okay, I'm going to tell you about. I'm not selling anything. Okay, most of the people that have connected. that have connected into this webinar today are in business and they're wanting to grow their business. And here is a perfect example. If two people are having a conversation, I'm going to use this pen again, about this pen and how the pen works and how it's going to improve operations and functionality in your business. You're more likely to engage than you would if you listen to a 30-second ad, or if someone sent you an intro email with a PDF attached to it. This is my business. These are my offering. So imagine that Ingrid from the pen shop has a conversation with Ingrid, the journalist, and we talk about your business and how it functions and what you are offering to your audience. And after that, I air it and I share it on eBiz Radio. That's one avenue. But I also share it with you. So you now have an audio, a podcast that you can send to someone that's done by a third party, by a journalist.
Great authority.
Okay, so what has that done? It's given you credibility in the marketplace because you didn't record it and you're selling yourself. Somebody else is talking to you about your brand. So I've always wanted to be there for entrepreneurs and help them. So we have a very flat rate. It's 1,500 Rand. We chat for anywhere between 10 and 18 minutes, never more than 18 minutes. Gets a bit too long. We edit it, we package it. I air it on eBiz Radio. I put it in my podcast archive. Anyone can download it. I share an article with links to your business so that they're connecting to your business and not my business, because I don't run a pen shop, but you do. And then when they're introducing themselves to people and you've had that initial conversation, you can send them literally a less than 20 meg audio file and says, this is what we do. They then get to connect with a personality and a person, because people
buy from people.
People connect to people. So that's what we do. It's 1,500 Rand.
Awesome.
Wow.
Ingrid, thanks for that. So we are going to share all the details on our Mastermind group as well. We've got a special for the guys on the Mastermind group as well. And then we'll share all of Ingrid's details. We'll share eBiz Radio on a regular basis. So we have partnered with eBiz Radio. So we're going to be talking a lot more about eBiz Radio. Just an amazing business and amazing what you're doing for entrepreneurship. It really is from a true perspective. It's not something that you're doing just for profit. You can see it's something that's a passion for you and you really want to help entrepreneurs. And that's why we connect well as well, because that's who we are as well. It's just helping entrepreneurs and being authentic and sharing what we know. No one's expert. I see a lot on the Facebook ads, and there's a lot of negative people out there. They comment, what makes you an expert? Who said we're an expert? We're just people sharing our knowledge, what we learn. Nobody learns something from it.
And you're always going to get those negative comments.
Yeah, we just laugh about it.
You know what? Just laugh. Sometimes you have to just laugh. If they took the time and energy that they used on trolling on Facebook or any other social media platform, and actually use that energy for themselves, amazing what they could be doing in their life.
So, Ingrid, super thanks for your time, eh?
I just want to ask the audience as well, if they have any questions. We have time for 1 or 2 questions. If you guys have a question, pop it in the comments box. Again, if you want to join our Mastermind group, guys, it's a once-off fee of $750. There's no hidden cost, there's no upselling, there's nothing. Straightforward, $750. As you see, we are really just authentic guys trying to help the market. We do need to fund this show. It costs us a lot of money to run these shows. So that's our only thing that we're selling to be able to recoup some of that cost. Once-off fee, $750. Access to our Mastermind group, access to all our courses, access to our Facebook course, our e-commerce courses, all that sort of stuff. And then some specials after the business show that you as members get special discounts and special stuff for. Just 2 announcements for the next show is, firstly, everyone that wants to apply for that package, it's 150,000 Rand worth package where myself and Willie is going to take a business over a 12-month period and double or triple the business in 12 months. It's 150,000 Rand or prize that you win. It's only available to our members though. So it's on the Facebook page. Guys, if you haven't gone through it yet, I've sent it earlier today on the WhatsApp group as well. If you haven't gone through it, just go click on the Facebook page. The link is there to enter the business show. Next week, we will announce 5 finalists to go through to the 5 final rounds. And then you are going to present to the audience, and the audience is going to select who wins that prize. And then lastly is we've got a really special gift from one of our Mastermind members. They are giving away 2 nights at absolutely amazing lodge. So I'm not going to give out too much details about that. It's worth 4,500 Rand. So they're going to sponsor it to a lucky member on our show next week. So if you want to stand a chance to win that, you have to join the show next week to win that amazing holiday package down at the ocean. Just super, super vibes. Otherwise, thanks to everyone. Thanks to the guys that joined us. If you want to join our Mastermind, again, on the right-hand side, you will see the offer to join it. And do we have any last questions for Ingrid before she jumps off? Very valuable. Thanks, guys. Got my Sonia's part of our Mastermind group. Barbara, George is part, Joanne. Everyone's part, so no one with specific questions. Awesome stuff. So thanks a lot,
everyone.
Thank you so much, guys.
Really cool. That was super. I actually got more value than I think a lot of the
2 thumbs up, Ingrid.
Okay, so I'm good. I'm going to end this. I'm going to throw out a challenge. If you're open. Okay, so you're going to let your members decide who wins the package. How about we do I like to challenge people a little bit. Why don't we
love challenges?
Why don't we do the same? You guys and us, we do a trade exchange. We'll help you upskill and improve on your shows, and you help us grow our business. How's that?
Sounds good. Perfect.
So we can.
So I'll join a Mastermind class. I don't know what it is, but I'll be there. I really need someone to help me with finances. Man, I'm terrible at it.
Yeah, so I think let's chat about that. Eh?
Okay, brilliant.
Guys in our Mastermind group, it's just a cool group of people where we help each other grow and scale our businesses and use technology to automate a lot of this stuff so we can incur less cost in our businesses. Just a bunch of cool people sharing ideas and knowledge. That's all it is.
I love hanging out with cool people.
We do.
Okay,
guys, thank you.
All the viewers for EHQ, big up. Thanks for your time. And thanks for joining our show. Remember, next week, Thursday, 4 p.m., another jam-packed show with loads of value. So really cool. Thanks for jumping on, guys. And just be part of the tribe. Go and comment on our Facebook post and post some of your stuff on our Facebook post. Just engage and connect. It's only going to be as valuable as you make it. So make sure you go check out Entrepreneur HQ Facebook page and just comment on some of our stuff. If you find it valuable, let us know so that we know what more to do and what to do less. Otherwise than that, awesome, guys. Thanks for your time. Thanks for subscribing. Next week, Thursday, 4 p.m., same place.
Yes, awesome, guys. Thanks. And we can't do the show without you. If no one pitches up, there's really no show. So, yeah, thanks. Yeah. Like and share us. Share with your friends, fellow business partners. So, yeah, next week.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.